So if you thought you were having a bad week, check out GOP Senate candidate Annette Bosworth. Now, Bosworth was running in the South Dakota GOP primary, and she stopped by the Kelly file, where she found out something terrible had happened.
Annette, thank you very much for being here. I want to start with the breaking news from the Associated Press that reports that you have lost your race.
Well, that's news to me. I didn't know that.
Really?
But, you know, it's been an amazing, I didn't know, so I found out on national television.
Sorry to break the news to you.
Talk about awkward. But wait, her week got even worse. Not even just 24 hours after losing her race on national TV, Bosworth was arrested for election fraud. That's right. South Dakota Attorney General Marty Jackley charged Bosworth with 6 counts of perjury and 6 counts of filing false documents related to campaign election laws. Jackley claims that Bosworth fraudulently attested to gathering voter signatures when she was actually really on a Christian missions trip to the Philippines. Basically, she attested that she was there supervising this voter signature drive, but she actually, or allegedly, wasn't there. Obviously, that's pretty difficult to supervise this if you're in the Philippines. Now, of course, Bosworth is decrying this as a liberal plot to intimidate her from leftist Mike Rounds. Wait, did I say liberal? This is actually a case of Republican on Republican crime in the fact that crime may actually have happened. Now, before you feel too badly for Miss Bosworth, remember, she's the same person that likened people on food stamps to animals. Now, South Dakota isn't a populous state, and according to the census in 2013, South Dakota had a population of around 830,000 people. So it's relatively rural, 83% white, but it has over 100,000 people on food stamps, according to, of course, the federal government. Now, the problem with that is that she pretty much went out and compared a significant chunk of her constituency to animals. It's no wonder that she only got 6% of the vote. Now, there is some irony. Before I throw it out here, there's a little bit of irony of her being charged with election fraud just days after she announced the formation of a PAC to, quote, attack the corruption of career politicians and the media culture that protects them. Most likely, she was probably talking about the quote-unquote liberal media, but who knows? I want to ask you guys what you think about this. Please weigh in.
But it's a hilarious story. Like, if you break it down, there's multiple hilarious moments in this. First of all, finding out on air that you lost your election. Like, you don't have, maybe, I'm going to speculate a little bit, but maybe because you have an incompetent campaign staff who can't tell you when you lose. Like, maybe that's why you lost your election, because you don't know how to run a campaign. 2, the going on the trip, even though it's technically illegal to the Philippines while your people gather signatures, like, if I originally, when I read that, I thought she was faking signatures, but like a law that says you have to be supervising that specifically, that seems like not.
No. I think you misunderstand, Sean. It's not a law against not supervising. It's the fact that she lied, saying that she was supervising. She lied on her paperwork and sent it in, saying that she was there while she was instead allegedly in the Philippines. So obviously, if she said she was there and wasn't there, that's lying.
Right. But for all we know, she was collecting signatures in the Philippines because, you know, she really cares about fighting corruption. But so like that's funny because she set up the PAC. She actually set up the PAC hours before she lost her election. That was going to help fight corruption and all that. It wasn't like days after she got arrested, so that's also funny. She got arrested the very next day, which would have been hilarious if that broke. Like, breaking news, you are being charged with a crime, and then the police came and arrested her on camera. But they couldn't find her because she was hiding in some weird, like, garage or something. And I don't know if you noticed it. Huh?
There's a graffiti wall behind her. Now, she says that's apparently, I mean, her whole thing was she had an artist come in and, you know, do all that graffiti behind her. of all the horrible things that us liberals called her.
That's true. By the way, it looks nice. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. But there is one thing. They had a nicely sprayed like war on women there, right? But then like there's like a little like on top of that, like they wrote inside of the bubble that says war on conservative women. Like, do the war on conservative women in nice graffiti. Don't write the conservative part like weirdly. That's like the asshole who signed somebody else's tag. Like, don't do that. Like, that's just wrong. Like, if you're gonna pay a guy to do it, have him do the whole thing right. So obviously she doesn't know how to manage a graffiti. She doesn't know how to collect signatures. And she doesn't have any campaign people or TV or internet connection or Twitter account to tell her that she lost an election before she does an interview and is told that. Like, this is the first time in history that news was, in recent history, that news was actually broken to somebody through TV and not the internet.
Yeah, we're missing the real victim here. And it's right there in the clip. If you go through and watch it, the real victim here is Megyn Kelly. I mean, did you see her face? And by what I mean when I say Megyn Kelly is the real victim here, what I mean is the real victim here is the intern, staffer, producer, whoever it was that slipped that bit of news to Megyn Kelly into her ear and said, hey, say this, ask her how she feels after losing her election. Because that person is absolutely 100% positively floating dead in a river somewhere right now. Megyn Kelly killed that person the second the camera cut away from her, and it's written all over her face in that clip. I guarantee you whatever intern it was that passed that or put that in the teleprompter bolted out of the building in fear for their life because Megyn Kelly straight up murdered them in the commercial break.
No, I totally disagree. I think that intern might get hired. He broke news to Megyn Kelly faster than the person she was interviewing. Megyn Kelly has no loyalty to this woman. Like, she got a YouTube clip that's a classic for at least a couple of months of Megyn Kelly shattering a woman's world on national television. So I would give that intern a raise.
I just love that she's all like, I'm sorry to let you know that. Really? Oh man, so.
Oh yeah, you can hear it in her voice. There's no remorse. It's pure anger, and I don't know if it's even just anger, like, because you can tell like Megyn Kelly is just so like, there's no way I'm wrong. Like, there's almost anger at this. I don't want to say this poor woman from South Dakota because, as we covered, she seems to be a pretty horrible person. But you know, like Megan's almost angry at her for not knowing she lost. You know, like there's no sense of, oh my goodness, what have I done to this poor woman? It's all just like, whether it's directed at the candidate or the intern or the producer. Like, Megyn Kelly murdered someone the night this aired. I promise. There's a dead person in Megyn Kelly's garage.
All right, so we're gonna have to court this then. We're gonna have to throw up a TYT Community lower court, and we're gonna watch the video again, and we're gonna say, did Megyn Kelly kill an intern? Go.
Annette, thank you very much for being here. I want to start with the breaking news from the Associated Press that reports that you have lost your race.
Well, that's news to me. I didn't know that.
Really?
But, you know, it's been an amazing. I didn't know, so I found out on national television.
Sorry to break the news to you.
Can I just point out one thing? You know who popped a bottle of champagne after seeing this clip? Sarah Palin, because this woman was stunted by a dumber question than the one that stumped Sarah Palin. Sarah Palin was asked, what do you read? And she couldn't figure out an answer. This woman was like, how do you feel about losing? She's like, there was an election? That happened already? So, yeah.
All right, so TYT Community lower court is in session. Did Megyn Kelly? Was Megyn Kelly angry at the intern or just surprised? Jordan.
Oh God, no, that's hate. That's, I mean, like, because like Megyn Kelly is capable of like 2 or 3 emotions because she's not really a genuine like human being, and hate is 2 of those 3 emotions, and so. I don't know that surprise is something she can show, man. Like she can show hate, and that's what that was, and it was just directed everyone in the room on the interview. I don't know who she killed. I don't know if she killed the candidate. I don't know if she killed an intern. All I know is Megyn Kelly murdered someone in that commercial break. Absolutely, 100%, no doubt in my mind.
All right, Sean.
I totally disagree. I think Megyn Kelly is guilty of not giving a shit that she just crushed that woman's dreams. I don't think that was hate. I think that was pure indifference. She's like, you didn't know? Oh, I guess I'm sorry, you fucking moron. Like that's what was going on in the back of her mind. Her and her like interns and everybody was like, this dumbass came on my show not knowing the results of her own election. Like, come on. That was a secondhand source, too. She reported it from the Associated Press. So she found it, and she's like, congratulations on losing. And then she was like, I didn't know. And Megyn Kelly was like, I guess I'm sorry that you're a fucking dumbass.
Well, okay.
All right,
so
Jeff, Supreme
on,
Court lower justice here.
Well, okay, so a little bit more context into the clip. She goes on to ask her about something that's not related quite to her losing the campaign. More like about how, the left and everything was, doing their war on women thing. Apparently, war on conservative women. So she immediately was like, after she was like, well, sorry to hear that. Now I'm going to ask you about something kind of different. Like, so taking that context in mind and just knowing how little I know about Megyn Kelly, and I don't really think that that's rage. Like I'm gonna have to side with Sean here. I don't think she cared. I think it was just one of those. Sorry. Way to be a loser. On to the next question. It's like a professional indifference. Like, I just reported the news. Here you go. Take it as you will.
Megyn Kelly just said,
question.
yeah, I'm just going to go to all the other questions that I had for you that may or may not be relevant before I broke this breaking news, but this is what I was going to ask you anyway, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So
Jeff just admitted that Megyn Kelly was professional. In his haste to agree with Sean, not only did he go on record as agreeing with Sean, not only did he go on record as being completely wrong, but he called Megyn Kelly a professional. You are 0 for 3, sir. This ruling will be overturned.
Professional indifference, I think. Because when you think about it, when you're Megyn Kelly, you have to be indifferent about everything. That includes human suffering, emotion, everything. In order to work at Fox, you kind of don't have to give a shit about people.
Megyn Kelly was a professional. She crushed this woman's entire life and didn't give a shit. She's an assassin who kills somebody and doesn't even blink. I think I actually like Megyn Kelly more now.
Sean, I'm sorry to say, like, Sean, you swung me to your side. It was a difficult decision. Court 2-1 in favor. Megyn Kelly is indifferent to the crushing of the hopes and dreams. Not anger. She didn't kill an intern. She was just doing her job. And the court has ruled.